Have you ever wondered what it might be like to live somewhere else? Maybe in another city? But have you ever thought how different your life may be if you lived in another country entirely? For the last 5 years, my family has been living in Aberdeen, Scotland. And today I'd like to give you, the audience, a unique glimpse into Aberdeen's culture and lifestyle. Scotland may be famous for golf and tartans, or even beautiful castles such as this one, but there might be a lot that would surprise you about Aberdeen and Scotland's culture. The original Highland inhabitants were of Celtic descent, which is why, other than English, Gaelic and Scots are of the official languages of Scotland, according to Scotland.org. The clothing in Scotland might surprise you because most men wear what's called a kilt. It consists of 9 yards of wool worn about the waist with a sporran-like satchel and either a jacket vest or a jacket and bow tie. Whiskey is the most famous drink in Scotland. You may know it by Johnnie Walker whiskey, for example, which happens to be a Scottish blend of whiskies that have been aged in sherry oak casks. Haggis is a typical dish in Scotland that is often served with neeps and tatties, which are turnips and potatoes. Haggis is an oat, meat, and vegetable combination that's cooked in a sheep's stomach. It is often held reserved for large ceremonial events. Fish and chips are often found in most pubs, but a typical Scottish dinner consists of bangers and mash, which happen to be sausages and mashed potatoes. It's a common misconception in Scotland that since they speak English, most items have the same meaning or names. However, if you were to ask for chips, you would get French fries. Or if you really wanted what we would call chips, such as Lay's that are salted, you'd have to ask for crisps. Now that I've given you an insight into the food in Scotland, you may be wondering what they celebrate. A large celebration is the Highland Games, which are a track and field event in which families or clans in Scotland compete. Some of the events that happen at Highland Games are the caber toss, in which a large telephone pole is tossed, or the throwing of the hammer as shown here. Celtic dancers and bagpipes also complete the events. In the Braemar gathering, the Queen actually gives the winning contestants their awards. Burns Night is a night that is in commemoration of the national poet Robert Burns, as shown here. The night consists of poetry reading and even the ceremonial cutting of the haggis, according to robertburns.org. Another festivity is Hogmanay, which is the New Year's celebration that used to be in celebration of the winter solstice. And in Stonehaven, which is a small town in Scotland, they cover large metal balls with tar in which they light on fire, and big men swing about their heads to throw into the harbor in a symbolic meaning to get rid of the bad spirits for the New Year's. Guy Fawkes Day is another celebration in which it's in commemoration of Guy Fawkes, who was hung for his attempted assassination of King James I. On this day, they often have bonfires and large fireworks displays, according to the bonfirenight.net. You may have heard me mention kings and queens because in Scotland it is under rule of the Queen of the United Kingdom and a constitutional monarchy under Queen Elizabeth II's ruling. She doesn't rule over a large area in Scotland because Scotland is only 30,000 square miles, which is also the size of South Carolina. In Scotland, the 3 major cities are Aberdeen, Glasgow, and Edinburgh. The currency is pound sterling, as shown here. And in Scotland, 3 banks are given the rights to issue banknotes. 2 of them are the Bank of Scotland and the Clydesdale Bank. Finally, I hope that this glimpse into Scotland's culture and everyday activities has motivated you to learn about another culture and their way of life. And I'll leave you with a picture of the Highland cow and a challenge to, when you are bored, to learn about how in other countries they spend their idle time. Thank you.